What do you like doing? Cooking or eating?
Eating.
Wow. That was like
My
That was
buzzer
obviously,
round.
yeah, buzzer
Yeah.
round. Eating.
eating.
बातें बनाना. उल्लू बनाना बस ये अच्छा लगता है.
Most of the big chefs of the world are
Yeah.
all male.
Yes, it is, and it's quite patriarchal, right? Because
Yeah.
women in this country and world over are making 3 meals a day
Yeah.
for the entire family. I think there was some data that I think Piyush was sharing yesterday that on an average, a woman ends up spending 30 years inside the kitchen. Having said that, still when it comes to job opportunities, it's always the men who are the top chefs.
Yeah.
I also thank actually the media for this, is because you are the face
Sure.
for us, and it's the kind of narrative you put out there is what gets to be seen. So if I am stated as like two filmmakers, both of them have got awards, but if you put a line saying that Nitesh Tiwari and his wife Ashwiny Iyer Tiwari,
Yeah.
that's wrong on your
Yeah.
part.
Ashwini, Huma, welcome to News 18 Showsha. I want to ask you start because it's a film which is related to food. What do you like doing? Cooking or eating?
Eating.
Wow. That was like
My
That was
buzzer
obviously,
round.
yeah, buzzer
Yeah.
round. Eating.
eating.
बातें बनाना. उल्लू बनाना बस ये अच्छा लगता है. हाँ.
Right. But खाना नहीं बनाते घर पे? I mean, don't.
Banate,
Of
but I feel
course.
like food is so much like prep that goes into it. I think because I'm speaking for both of us because we're also working and there are many other things. I just time नहीं मिल पाता.
Right. And Ashwini, do you?
But I think, I think time is a big thing, and we should not be complaining, is because all our mothers cooked throughout their life in spite of working. But it's the sheer process of, you need that time, you know. I think leisure cooking is what I would say.
Yeah.
Than everyday cooking. Leisure cooking is something which I enjoy. Jahan pe everything is there and you have all the time in the world to cook, where you're not looking कि ये जाना है इधर करना है. So I really hats off to our parents and mothers who have done so much in their lives every day, morning,
And
evening,
cooked.
night, morning, evening,
Yeah.
night,
Yeah.
afternoon, night. That hats off, really hats off.
But you spoke about leisure cooking. Do you all anytime do that leisure cooking? Like on a Sunday, you stay with Sakib, you stay with obviously Nitesh.
Yes, yes.
Sundays को कभी ऐसा हुआ है that you all
Yes,
enter the
Sundays,
kitchen?
yes.
And
Yes.
what is it like? You know, is there a go-to recipe or a
I'm very
dish?
happy with eggs. I can eat eggs for like dinner also. I'm just happy with eggs, avocado toast, like very happy. But I don't need
Oh, you
to.
full ऐसा विदेशी है,
Yeah,
full ऐसा avocado toast.
toast.
Yeah.
No, for us it is proper rajma chawal, chole, curry, Punjabi curry.
Right. But that is that something that you cook?
Yes.
Right.
Punjabi curry, I do not know how much.
How Punjabi it remains after I cook it.
I think it will become more Gujarati than Punjabi for me because I'm from Bombay.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yes, it is mostly all these kind of Indian delicacies which happen. Yeah.
Right. You mentioned about.
I like that whole idea of a Sunday, and I think that is something which is very important. Maybe because we all are so dispersed that food is something which gets all of us together.
Yeah.
So Sunday afternoon, provided we are at home, but
Yeah.
mostly we are at home. Sundays we don't work,
Yeah.
except shoot. Is that Sunday afternoon? It has to be a leisurely lunch and has to be a good sleep after that.
Right. So you mentioned about our mothers who have been cooking day in and day out. Do you agree that primarily cooking has been a responsibility for women, and
Yes.
do you see that changing? And
See, initially, yes, I would say that cooking has always been the responsibility of women, and because patriarchally we have been imbibed, and you go anywhere in the world, cooking has always been a responsibility of the woman, and a woman to at least make her food and keep बाकी डब्बा वब्बा कोई और पैक कर लेगा, but खाना तो बनता है एक औरत के हाथ से. And I think beyond time, the whole idea of cooking has changed.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of cooking has changed. So now it is no more the responsibility of the woman, but still it's the responsibility of the woman. For example, that I have a newlywed couple I know who has been staying alone. So every day when the cook used to come, he would say what has to be made and everything and all that. And now, as soon as he got married, it is equals.
Yeah.
But he likes that she has taken up the responsibility of what has to be made. So even today in my house, I only decide what has to be made and what has to be done.
Sure.
So so that doesn't make anyone unequal. It's just that we're in the inborn tendency.
It's inbuilt. It is so the woman will take care
woman
of.
will take care of things.
Yeah.
So how much of a progressive we are, I'm here right now, but at the end of the day, khane mein kya banao will come to the phone call will come to me only.
Yeah.
But isn't it an ironical thing that most of the big chefs of the world are all male?
Yes, it is, and it's quite patriarchal, right? Because women in this country and world over are making 3 meals a day for the entire family. I think there was some data that I think Piyush was sharing yesterday that on an average, a woman ends up spending 30 years inside the kitchen. Having said that, still when it comes to job opportunities, it's always the men who are the top chefs. And not the women. But I think that's changing, and which is why also the Tarla story is such an important story, right? Because
now you see,
she was the first OG master chef. She was the first woman to have her first cookbook. She was the first woman to have her own cooking show, which is why these stories need to be acknowledged.
Agreed.
Put up on the big screen so that other people also take inspiration and talk about it.
And also now is the time when we see a lot of women as chefs out there. And curiosity, and I think it's a very good question, is because sometimes when you go to these big hotels and you see these master chefs who are there, and you kind of become friends with them, and then you ask them, and I used to ask this guy who said that who cooks at home. It's such a good thing, no? Both of you are cooking. Who cooks at home? My wife cooks at home.
That's crazy.
Right.
So it becomes like a personality of a job. I have a job as a chef. But
back home,
it's my wife
cooks.
cooking.
Right.
But then of course he says that kabhi bana deta, but it's not everything.
Right.
Yeah.
But tell us, what was your first interaction with the Dalal family? What was it like?
I met them. I don't know. We must have met them before.
Yeah.
I met them when they came on set, and ironically, that same day I was wearing one of Tarla ji's own saris.
Oh, okay.
Because the daughter had shared some of her saris and clothes with us.
Right.
So this light blue colored sari which belonged to her, I wore that in that scene, and the whole family came, and it was a bit of a moment for them because very emotional, right? And they hugged me and said, "Oh, you're playing our mother." And I guess you understand the responsibility it is to tell the story in the most authentic way possible, because it's somebody's mother, somebody's family, and also the legacy that she's left behind.
Sure. Your first interaction?
We of course approached them first because we wanted the rights of Mrs. Tarla, and the first instance was that it was very open. They were actually very excited. The most excited is the sister. She has 3 kids, and the daughter is the one who's the most excited. She was also there for the trailer launch and everything. And it's just that I think more than anything else that they felt good that someone is telling their mother's story. Even if you see any of the social media pages and everything, all we're getting to hear is that finally someone is telling her story. No, because we all know her as the OG chef now, this new word, as a chef, and this first home chef who went on to screen on TV.
Yeah, maybe the first content creator for us.
Yes, the first content creator, and no one taught her anything. She just had the confidence to go in front of camera. It was nothing which was very fashionable or except her cutting her hair to a short hair. I think maybe there was a reason for that also, because roj baal ko ye karna, wo karna, and khana functionality wala cheese. And but at the same time, no one knew her journey. Everyone knew that she is this very smiling person, happy, who teaches people simple cooking. That everyone takes her books and travels abroad also. But no one knew her journey. And I think that was the most important thing, that we wanted to tell her journey.
Right.
Because we have always told stories of people who are relevant in terms of a lot of other things. Maybe it is history, or maybe it is entrepreneurship in terms of other things, or sports. One of the biggest biopics have always been sports. But here is a woman who was actually the first home chef of the country. At a time, I think she must have been the first even in Southeast Asia.
Possible. Yeah, that's true.
But no one spoke about her.
Right.
And she got a Padma Shri, the only woman until today who has got a Padma Shri for her cooking. So I think there's a lot for us to
Hmm.
learn from her. I think we have learned a lot through her stories, is because, and also someone who didn't have the soft skills of speaking English, or she was
Yeah.
as desi as you can be,
Yeah, as normal
as
and as
normal as anyone. So if she could give hope to everyone, I think all of us here are thinking of far too many things, that can we speak English, can we do this, can we do that, but here was one woman
yeah.
who could just do it in the language she was more comfortable in.
Huma, you belong to a family who own a restaurant. What was the first conversation with your parents when you know this film came to you? Also, did that kind of help? You know, knowing the basics or something. Did that help being prepared for
Well,
the
the
role?
one thing definitely what helped is that my father, because of his almost now 50 years
Yeah.
running Salim's in the
Yeah.
capital, I think, and you know, we are the only sort of Muslim family in a sea of like Punjabis. But I feel like my father over the years had this reputation of being like, "Arey, Salim saab ke restaurant ke khana khate."
Yeah.
Like he's built that community around the food, which is what brings people together, right?
Sure.
So I've seen the power of food and hospitality at very close quarters while growing up and what it does. And so when I approached the Tarla story, I was also like, Arey, maybe the style of cooking is different.
Yeah.
Maybe what you're serving is different, but the
Yeah.
ethos and the thought remains the same. Here's a woman who is using the power of food and bringing people together.
Yeah.
You know, because taste is such a universal thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I drew, and when my father saw the trailer, he was very happy, which made me very happy. Like, I don't discuss all my films with my parents. I mean, I like them to also be like an audience and watch it, because then I can get a genuine reaction.
Yeah.
So when my parents saw it, they immediately called me, congratulated me, loved it. They repeated the dialogues. And they were quite chuffed that I was speaking in a Gujarati accent, because for parents to see their child suddenly becoming another person is like a bit of a, "Arey, ye kya ho gaya?"
Huh.
And of course, he loved the batata musallam idea. He said,
Right.
"Arey, isko to main Salim se banaunga."
Huh.
So I'm like, "Banaiye, acha idea hai."
So he's taking some recipes from Tarla ji now.
He's-
But there's
Batata
a
musallam
lot
is happening.
more. Yeah, there's a lot more of Tarla, what she did from the, apart from the food and getting people together, which you will see it in the film. We don't
Yeah.
want to talk about it right now.
Mhm.
One very important thing which she did, especially for women.
Okay.
So
But that's the surprise. We
that's
don't
a
want to talk
surprise.
about
We
it.
don't
Yeah.
talk about
Right.
it. Yeah.
Huma, just before the interview, we were just talking, you know, the kind of, you know, films that you've been doing, the kind of offers that you've been coming, and it's commendable, you know, the kind of appreciation also. And it's a whole variety, right? From a Army of the Dead to a Wali Mai to Maharani, you know, and then we had Monica, My Darling, and now Tarla. You know, until a few years ago, female actors wouldn't escape this question that, you know, whether meaty roles are written for them. What do you think has changed, and how do you think have filmmakers' approach towards you changed?
Thank you. No, I do feel good. It's been a long time coming, but I do feel like as an actor, I'm in a state of flow, which is nice. I don't know how you get there. I don't know what happens, but yeah, definitely something has happened. I'm just trying to treat it like do my day job with as much honesty as that is possible, and all the directors and writers and producers that are showing confidence in me is just to do right by their vision.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I've realized that what happens often at times as actors, now you're so caught up in your own head and you're caught up with your own personal insecurities about, could be anything, could be how you look, could be age, could be whatever. But I feel if you just, for the purpose of the film itself, if you just put that aside for a while, I don't know, films have a way and characters have a way of speaking to audiences,
Sure.
which is beyond anybody's control. Like, I did not think, like, you know, Monica would get the kind of love that it did get.
Yeah.
I actually shot that film for 12 days.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, right? Something connects with people.
Agreed.
And that is sometimes not even in your hands. All you can do is just turn up and do your job. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Right. You know, we also had Double XL, and you know, you time again spoken about body positivity. You know, Maharani, for example, was a very de-glamorized role. Again, out here, Tarla, you know, we see her like a normal other you know woman out there. Is that a conscious choice also? Is that a priority where you're just pushing the this narrative of
Little bit. Little bit, but also I feel the stories have been incredible. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say, no, I'm not aware that, yes, these are films that are trying to show the female protagonist in a certain light. No, I am aware of that. I'm quite aware of that. But am I only doing it because of that? No. I'm also doing these films because they're incredible stories. And some very incredible people are coming together to you know, say that story.
right?
And does it push the envelope? Yes. Does it, like, maybe help us reimagine what women are capable of doing 100%. Because I feel like for me, Tarla was a challenge, right? Also because I'm like, women who look like Tarla ji were not supposed to be in front of the camera.
Right.
Like, she's just this neighborhood auntie who cooks food.
Yeah.
We don't even give her a second glance to her.
Yeah.
But why can't she be a hero? Why can't she be an entrepreneur? Why can't she be someone famous? We don't associate somebody who looks like that or it comes from that space to achieve anything in life, right? And I wanted to consciously shatter that because there's value in every human being, you know. And my job as an actor is to try right now at this point in time play real, living, breathing, three-dimensional women characters and not just like smokes and mirrors. Yeah.
Right. This question is for both of you all, especially for Ashwini. Over the years, especially in the entertainment industry, we've often seen women referred to as someone's wife or someone's sister or some, in that sense. Do you think that narrative is also changing, and especially filmmakers now, writers are coming up, are getting the due, because usually it's the actor who takes away the limelight. Do you think this whole thing has changed, and OTT has been one of the reasons for it?
I feel a lot has changed from the time I actually began my second innings in my career, and it was that because I'm a woman and I directed a film, it was always thought that there would be someone who's behind it.
Yeah.
And in this case, it was like, okay, Nitesh has directed.
Yeah.
So basically, I was just in front of the camera doing nothing. But it takes time to change to have change, and change has to be quiet, and you can't go and like keep screaming and shouting.
Yeah.
But the truth is that the more and more work you do, and the more and more you allow yourself to be out there and to keep talking about things which you stand for, is when change happens. And I think right from Nilbate Sannata, as a director, writer, to now being a producer with producing films, the constant thing is that let your stories speak, and let you as a person, what you are, can speak for itself. And things have changed considerably. I also thank actually the media for this, is because you are the face
Sure.
for us, and it's the kind of narrative you put out there is what gets to be seen. So if I am stated as like two filmmakers, both of them have got awards, but if you put a line saying that Nitesh Tiwari and his wife Ashwiny Iyer Tiwari, that's wrong on your part.
Yeah.
That is insanely wrong, is because which means you do not respect that woman out there who's trying to do something for herself. But at the same time, if you just put it as two individuals who have just been working, who happen to be a husband and wife, then I think it's not a problem. So the same thing happens for a father and a daughter. That so and we can never be so and so's a wife or daughter or sister.
Yeah.
We are just individuals who are trying to do our job. And the more and more you start restating that and saying, giving hope to those individuals, I think it just becomes more
Sure.
better for a community itself, for a society itself. I remember one journalist who actually changed that. And she's a very senior journalist. And one day she called me and told me, Ashwini, you have done n number of movies and you're equally very good. It's just that I think we as women shy away from accepting our achievements.
We're trained to
be like, okay, haan, theek hai, ho raha hai. It's nice, and how much ever educated I am and how much ever forward thinking I am, you'll always have this thing that, okay, fine, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have
Yeah,
to self-gaslight ourselves.
Yeah,
like,
I've produced. Okay, I've produced this film. Okay, fine. Thank you. And we just till the time we start commanding things.
Yeah.
And commanding in a nice way. So she told me that it always whenever I've read this thing, it always says before. Now it's been 7 years now. Now no one writes like that. In fact, so she said that it always says that Nitesh Tiwari's wife Ashwini. Why like that? So in one article, she wrote Ashwini Tiwari's husband Nitesh Tiwari.
Lovely.
And I really thank her. I think it was Roshmila, who is retired now.
Yeah. No, she's still working.
Yes, she's still working.
Yeah.
So I think Roshmila did that, and I really thank her for what she did. That's
Right.
because it was a very good thing to start telling.
Right. Okay. We are short of time, and I have a small quiz segment. Food segment. Obviously, it is related to food, and we have a certain names of Indian dishes which are in English.
Okay.
Okay. So they're going to be.
You'll guess.
You have to guess it.
Guess.
It's going to be in English, but you just have to guess
Done.
it. Okay. The first one is sweet pasta pretzel.
Meetha.
Jalebi.
Yes, you're right. So she gets
Sweet pasta?
pretzel.
Oh, I understood your question wrong. I thought I have to convert it into.
No, you just have to guess the word.
Guess the word.
Yeah.
Oh, ये तुम्हारा था जलेबी.
Jalebi.
The
Jalebi.
Second one is fried ricotta balls in syrup.
Rasgulla. Gulab jamun.
Got it.
Yeah, तूने.
Actually, she's very fast. Huh?
No, but she's done more interviews.
I've done more interviews, guys. Come on. I'm an actor.
Okay, sweet white sauce pasta.
रुक जा मेरे को ही बोलने दे. You मेरे को कहाँ बोलते?
Sweet white sauce. I actually don't know this.
Sweet white sauce pasta.
Sweet white sauce. Rasgulla.
White sauce pasta.
Pasta, white sauce.
Sevaiya.
Sevaiya.
ये गलत है ये.
Vermicelli is a pasta.
Vermicelli
It's a
is
type
pasta,
of it's a
he's
type of a
right.
pasta.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay. Deep fried potato dumplings on a flatbread.
Bread pakora.
Tikka.
Vada pav.
Bada pav.
Okay, whatever.
I've lost my mojo again.
Chickpea curry with flat bread, fried flat bread.
Chole bhature.
हाँ, छोले भटूरे.
Chickpea. हाँ.
Flattened rice.
Flattened rice. Poha.
Ashwini, you're kind of
Listen, poha, she remembers
Big
because
poha.
I told her before.
okay. The last one, savory crepes.
Huh?
Dosa.
Haan.
Savory crepes.
Okay then, whatever.
But that's she just like kind of. I think the
She
interviews.
was, she was.
I just have to go for something, so I'm trying to finish this fast.
Great. Thank you so much, guys,
Thank
and
you.
Looking forward for Tarla.
Thank you.
And congratulations on it.
Hi guys, this is Huma Qureshi and you're watching me on News 18 Showsha. This is Ashwiny Iyer Tiwari and
Hi.
you're watching her on
Showsha.